Hey everyone, happy Friday. We are back for another Friday feature. And as I promised, we have another amazing teacher joining us today. Today, we are with one of my former employees. We've been together 6 years. And here's the great thing about Jennifer Weeks. I hired her as she was transitioning into teaching from another career. And what I love about doing things like that is that you do find people who have had all this experience in a whole life. And then they move into this new calling, so to speak, because education truly is a calling. And she has done nothing but impress me from day one. We have been through so many ups and downs, even a broken arm where I was holding it so it didn't fall off her body. Literally, y'all, literally. However, we've had some really great times as well. Jennifer taught fourth grade and fifth grade for me, and what I love is that she had this way about working with some of our more challenging students. And she would always come back and question herself as to, is she giving them enough? And truly, she was giving them so much, just like a mom, because she's a mom as well. And so I know her children, and I know they get just the best from her. And she does an amazing job with them as well. All right, so I've told you a lot about Jennifer. It's time for you to meet her. So please help me welcome Jennifer Weeks. Hey.
Hi, how is everyone?
I am so excited for you to come on with me and share today because, as I mentioned, you've done some amazing things on our campus. And before we get started with that, is there anything you want to add to let the audience know a little bit more about you? Because I know you're transitioning this year, going to a new school, and
Mhm.
that's going to be a big step. But anything about your teaching career that you want to share?
Well, when you were saying it's like a second career, yeah, that's kind of how it got started. I've always been told and knew in the back of my head that I was like a natural teacher. Um, but I was actually in school to be a dental hygienist. Um, but I had this nagging feeling that I should be a teacher. And I did come with some experience that was a little different. Like I had, I was older than, New Year teachers coming in. I had a soccer mom experience. I had two children. I have a daughter and a son. So I've seen the different ages. I had a teenager when I was coming in. So I had seen them go through elementary school. I had been a mom that helped out at campuses and kind of read to students. So I came in with that knowledge. Um, so that was one of the things that made me different than other teachers. But I think that that's a good thing. We need different experiences coming in from different perspectives.
Yes, and that's truly why I say you met your calling because you knew. I remember us talking, and you knew all along you wanted to be in that classroom, and timing finally was right. All right. So, like I said, audience, she's done some great things. And today, Jennifer is going to share with you one or two things that she has done in her classroom that has made a difference for her students. And we've been hearing from teachers now. This is our third session, and you're getting kind of a list of things. So make sure to write these down as she talks about them. So, Jennifer, talk to us something that you know you do that if you didn't do it, you wouldn't have the success that you do.
So I'm going to break it down into two different categories, I think. Um, to be a really successful teacher, there are two big things. I think for instance, student behavior is a very big aspect of it, because you can't have the learning if you don't have the behavior. So that's something that needs to be addressed pretty quickly or really quickly. And then I believe the second one would be instruction. Just knowing your content as the teacher and being open minded. So coming into the teaching field, as a first year teacher, I wanted to get my discipline down because I already knew that that was a big step. I took a lot of advice for some really experienced teachers on what was successful with them. Consistency. So, for instance, I have a champs wall, and I stay very consistent with my champs, which is, students will know what their expectation is in voice level and how they move around the classroom, and how do they get help. And they'll already know ahead of time. You need to set those expectations ahead of time. So that's a big thing. But then again, relationships. So with behavior, it's almost broken down into two things: consistency and building relationships. Relationships go farther than your classroom store. Relationships go when you have a mystery student lunch, when you spend time with them, when you ask them about your day. Because think about it, any person you meet on the street, if they, or anybody, one of your friends, you're sitting down at a table with your friend, how's your day going? How do you feel today? Or I like your shirt, or I had a dream about you last night, or something like that. You're automatically connected to that person. And it's the same way with students. They're little people. So you want to build a relationship with them. You build that relationship, you build that respect, and then you're building up your management.
I
So
love
that's
that.
the number one. And the first year I worked really hard on that. And each year I tried to fine tune a little more, because there's different aspects. You're always learning as a teacher. You can't just say, oh, this is the way I'm going to do it. This is the way I'm always going to do it. Because like you were saying, Dixon and I, we've been through COVID, we've been through Harvey, we've been through all those things, changed aspects of teaching. So you can't just say, well, I've done it the same forever, so I'm going to get online and teach them the same way. No, they're not going to pay attention. You have to find something different. You have to get a different behavior, different. So that's one thing. The second thing was instruction. And with instruction, I feel like a lot of professional development that I did really helped. If I was recommended to go to GT or Avid, or sign me up, because the more I can learn about it, and as teachers, we're always learning, the better equipped I am to come back to the classroom and put that into my classroom. Do we remember everything? No, but we try to take the good parts and try it out and see what works. So that with instruction, talking to your coach, getting advice from other colleagues is a huge thing. I've had so many great mentors. They've shown, oh, let's do a foldable. Let's make it look like this. We'll sit together and talk about it and find ways to make it attached to what their lesson objective is. And students are coming in, finding out that they're engaged. And as long as they're interested and engaged, you got that first part down, they're going to learn, just like we are as people. I mean, if I'm talking monotone all day, you're not going to listen to me. But if I have a good story and can attach a connection to it, that you're going to learn more.
And, I have to say, you speak so genuinely, and audience, it's so true. I don't know if there's been very many times that I've walked into Jennifer's classroom and her students haven't been engaged. And that engagement, like you were saying, Jennifer, teaching really is about two things. It's the management and the instruction. When students are engaged, they're not going to want to get into trouble and leave the classroom because they're excited about the learning. And so they kind of go hand in hand. And I know that you, with your professional development, talking about that, I even chose you as someone to speak to our state representatives last year when they came to check on a program we were using, because you take that learning in and you filter it, because like you said, we can't take everything and implement everything. You have to take what works. But you did a great job of being able to manage that and work with your teammates and work with your coaches so that you could deliver the best instruction to the students. And for those of you in the audience, because of the work that Jennifer did with her team, we saw some really great things when it comes to accountability. Now, I truly believe accountability isn't the end all be all, but it does rate a school in some states, in most states. And so knowing that we were giving kids the right things to help them learn and grow, and it affected that accountability. Lights me up as a principal. And you did a great job talking with those state representatives, and I know that that was scary.
It was, but like you teach people, they have to be confident. And, it's a thing I've been working on too myself. So, if you're not confident with what you're going to do, you have to find a way to say, you know what, I got to take that first step and just take a deep breath and do it. Because obviously, if somebody's asking you to do it, they have faith that you can do it.
Absolutely. All right. Feature Friday. You heard it here. Another amazing teacher coming to you with some real life strategies and how to apply it to your classroom. I know that if you take these little tips, teachers, all of you out there listening, and you just think about your own classroom, your own students, your own journey, and you utilize these tips, you can't go wrong. You really can't, because we're looking for our best and our brightest, and we want to feature you. So if you're one of those best and brightest out there, you never know, you may be one of our next teachers being featured. But today we want to say thank you to Jennifer, and good luck on your new journey with your new classroom next year. I know
Thank
I'll
you.
stay in touch with you, so I'll get to hear all of the updates. But I know you're going to do an amazing job. Thank you, everyone, and have a great rest of your Friday.